Quick. So hello everybody, this is yehdawg coming to you with another match straight off from Castit, and it's going to be a TVZ on Frost, and this is going to be an older match considering that it's from a later patch, which is why I had to load a older version of Battle.net. But it's going to be between Meavis, who's going to be playing for XG, Extreme G. He's an Extreme G, man. But he's going to be spawning as the blue Terran up in the top left-hand spawning location. And his opponent is going to be Celadan, who's going to be spawning as the red Zerg here at the bottom left-hand spawning location. And we got ourselves a TVZ. So, what league are both these players? Both players are going to be in Masters League. Masters League North America. And from what I've heard, Masters League is supposed to be 1.5% ever since they did the redistribution of the leagues in StarCraft. Masters League is supposed to be 1.5% of the players in the game. I know that it used to be like more of like 2%, but it's gotten more competitive. And since the redistribution, there's been a lot of chaos in terms of what's going on between Diamond and Masters. Are there any spots left? How's the matchup going? What's your bonus pool like if you are in Diamonds? Are you getting matched up with high Masters and not low Masters? And why do you keep losing against them? And if you do win against them, how come you only get 8 ladder points? It's pretty turbulent right now in the Diamond Masters level distribution of StarCraft. But if we look at what both players are doing, they're both going to be going to Econ. So Meavis and Terran's not going to be going for any gas, not going to be going barracks or anything. He's going straight for that supply depot and going for his natural expansion. Going to be putting that command center down on the bottom. On a map like Frost, it's safe unless your opponent decides to 6-pull. It's pretty much safe as long as your opponent plays somewhat standard to go ahead and get your command center first, considering that the rush distance is just so long. It does seem that Meavis does get a scout on it. He did get into his opponent's base, and he does. Oh wait, what did he say? Yeah, he does see the natural expansion, and this drone over here for Celadan is going to be coming up from the right side of the map. Going to try and get scouted all 3 wrong bases. It always sucks when you're in this position as a player, where you got a big map, there are 4 spawning locations, and you check every other one before you actually get to your opponent. It gives you such a late scout, and you just get so frustrated. You're like, oh man, really? Really? I had to go all the way around the map? You're over here? This drone finally making it over and taking out his frustration on this SCV. This command center should finish though, so this SCV, as long as he gets out of there, should be safe. Another SCV coming in here to save the day. Gonna try and attack this drone. Oh, who's gonna win this match? Who's gonna win this? Drone decides to pull out because another SCV is gonna come. He's gonna double team, tag team this little drone. But the drone says, oh, but the drone's got backup. 3 SCVs versus 2 drones. Here we go. What's going to happen? 1 SCV almost going down. Another SCV just 1 hit point. 1 hit away. 1 SCV goes down. These 2 drones walking away, scurrying away victorious as they took out 1 SCV. That's a good pick off for Celadan. I mean, it's not that huge, but you never want to be losing. You don't want to be losing SCVs or workers this early into the game. If we look at what's coming out for Celadan, Meavis though, he's going to be getting a factory, and he's putting a reactor on this barracks. So he's probably going to be getting out some fast Hellions to do some aggression against his Zerg opponent, who is getting Roach Warren down, and he's mining off 1 gas, so it's to get Ling speed and also to get that Roach Warren. But he doesn't seem like he's going for his 3rd expansion anytime soon. He still hasn't saturated this base at all. He's got a queen there, and he's got 8 roaches about to pop. So it does look like he's going for some early aggression. Sees that his opponent decided to expand to his natural expansion very fast. And if you look at what Meavis is doing, he's got his starport coming down right now. So he's going to be getting Meavis to do some drops. And he's getting a tech lab actually. So maybe he might want to switch his barracks with the starport, maybe get a Banshee out, do some harassment with that. But right now, 2 Hellions are coming out right now, and it seems like the tech lab the barracks was lifted off from the tech lab, so it does seem like he's going to be using that either for the starport. I think it's going to be for the starport, as 2 Hellions are out, but it doesn't seem like there's anything out from Meavis to deal with this aggression from these roaches. If we look at the units tab, there are 10 roaches out on the map right now. They're just waddling across the map. I don't think Meavis is aware that this is even happening. He needs to get a wall up. Actually, he just needs to get a bunker and get some Marines in there or something to deal with this, but there's really nothing to deal with this roach aggression. This is a very bad spot for Meavis to be in. He needs to close these supply depots. Doesn't close the supply depots. Oh, he's panicking right now. He's making a third command center and he pulls SCVs, but he's gonna be losing a lot against these roaches. When we look at units killed, 7, 9, 10 workers going down as he surrounds these roaches, trying to just pick them off. But the thing is, so many SCVs are going down, and behind this, Meavis Celadan is just droning up. So many SCVs just getting obliterated. 27 SCVs down, and those roaches do go down. We got another roach still in the base, but a Banshee is finally out. That's really what he needed for that engagement, but this roach is gonna die, and Meavis is in a pretty bad spot. He lost 27 workers in that aggression from Meavis. I mean, from Celadan, and now he's gonna be pushing across the map with these Hellions, gonna try and do some economic damage of his own against Celadan. But if he gets his spine crawlers up, if he's got these roaches in place to deal with these Hellions, and he micros these drones pretty well, he's not gonna be losing too much. This queen is gonna be harassing these Hellions. Loses one Hellion. Another Hellion's going to be going down. It doesn't seem like he's going to be doing too much with this aggression. He's able to pick off 6 workers, but you know he's going to need to do anything to get back into this match. That one Banshee that was in his base, I want to know where it went. He's going to be producing another Banshee after he remade that tech lab. Dropping mules. If we look at the income tab, he's not too far behind because the mules do help out a lot. They do. Mules are the saving grace of this game. As long as he doesn't have to drop scans, he's going to be okay. He's in a pretty good, decent position. But if we look over the map, it does seem like Celadan knows that a Banshee is out, so he did put down a Spore Crawler. He is making Evo Chambers. He's got 3 out right now, so it does look like he's going to be going upgrade heavy. Right now, he's getting Ling Speed out, and he's also getting +1 Carapace and +1 ranged attack, so it looks like he's going to be going for ranged units like roaches and maybe possibly Hydra. And if we look, he's got Meavis is producing Banshees as of now. He's taking map control from all these Lings that are scattered all around the map, but he needs to get maybe a Viking out to deal with this Overseer, maybe some of these Overlords, just clear those out so he doesn't have too much vision over what's going on in the map. His Overseer is going to be poking into Meavis' base, though. He's going to be seeing a lot. He's seeing the second factory and the third command center, so he's going to be knowing that, okay, as a Terran in this position, if you got 2 factories, you're probably going to be going for some heavy mech aggression, especially because the tech lab's being added on right now. That Overseer was able to get a pretty decent scout for Celadan, so Celadan knows what's going on. He knows what's up. But look over here, his Marine that was positioned over here at the third base to find out when it's going to be going down, gets taken out. And now Celadan's going to be going for his third. Going for his third after his second is fairly saturated. His first is in his main is saturated. And if you look over here at the third of Meavis, Celadan's actually going to be dropping creep at the third expansion, which is super annoying for a Terran player or any opponent really. It's just hard. It's very frustrating. But if we look at what's being produced by Celadan right now, he doesn't really have anything except for a roach war in terms of tech buildings. He does get a Ling run by into the base of Meavis, though. A bunch of Lings getting in here. These Hellions not being able to do too much against this. More SCVs going down. We're at 4 more workers killed for Celadan, and that's a pretty good position to be in. I mean, those Lings don't really cost him too much, and if he can harass the economy of his opponent, it's really going to put him in a good position. If we look over here, Thors have been created, so he did invest in getting Thors out. So you got 2 Thors. Thors, as we know, very good units. Very heavy, but the thing is, if there's too many roaches, Thor is not too good. Thors will just die. They will crumble against that, considering that roaches do extra damage against armored units. So if we look on the map, 18 roaches out for Celadan, and if we look at the drone count, it's 50 to 31 SCVs, and that makes sense considering the fact that Meavis has been behind in workers this entire game after that first early aggression. Celadan's going to be pushing across the map with all these roaches. These roaches, again, +1/+1 upgraded. If we look at the units of Meavis, not upgraded at all. He's going to have Banshees, though, which is going to be adding a lot of DPS against this Roach army. But the thing is, these Roaches are burrowed. They have that burrow tunneling claws. But the thing is, there is a turret here at the front. So they're not going to be able to sneak in. I think that's what Celadan was hoping for. He was really hoping. He was really counting on just getting into the base and just harassing it. And finally maybe making it to the mains mineral line. That would have been really bad. But he wasn't able to do it. Thank God. Some Hellions on the other side of the map trying to do some damage. They get spotted, though, by Celadan, and these Roaches are going to be able to clean it up. You need to pull these Hellions out right now. You need to get those out. Get those out. Don't want to lose those. Don't want to be losing too many Hellions. I mean, they only cost minerals, but at the same time, you want to be doing some damage with them. He's going to catch some drones being transferred from across, from the second to the third, and he was able to pick off like a couple, which is a good pick. These Roaches still posted out the third expansion of Meavis. Meavis still has not been able to drop this third orbital over there. Instead, he's just using it to mule up. Going for 2 armories right now. Nothing really being upgraded at this point. Still Thor's out, and it looks like he's going to be producing siege tanks and also still making Banshees. 2 more factories on the way, though, so he is going to be going heavy mech off of just 2 base play. I feel like he's going to produce an army just to get a decent army count, and then when he's comfortable with what he has, he's going to move over here and expand to his third expansion. Or even right here, if he doesn't want to deal with the creep spread. But, oh, Celadan drops creep over here, too. So sorry, man. So sorry. These Thors going to be able to push away this Overlord. Overlord's going to go down because Thors are pretty good against air. But little does he know that this Roach is still over here, burrowed. So, these Roaches coming in here. After Celadan knows that Meavis is going to be trying to take his third expansion, going to try and deny that as long as possible, considering that he's got his third expansion up. If we look at the income tab, he's got a pretty decent harvester count. He's got 73 harvesters. He's got 22,000 minerals coming in. If we look at the Terran opponent, he's pretty similar because he's got mules. That's about it. He's got mules. If we look at the tech of the Zerg, though, he's working off of 4 gases. Actually, he's working off 6 gases, and he's getting his Infestation Pit and Enduring Locust. So we are going to be seeing some Swarm House play coming out from our Zerg opponent. He's also teching up to a Hive. Where's the Hive? Yeah, he's teching up to a Hive. No Spire out for him just yet, so there's really nothing to deal with these Banshees as of now. This Overlord going to come in here trying to get a scout in. He's able to see that third base has not been taken yet, and it doesn't seem like Meavis has anything to he needs to scan right here and take out this Roach if he wants to land that. But in the meantime, Celadan's at 182 supply to 129 of Meavis. Going to be able to take out those rocks over here at the natural expansion, pushing in here. But there's a very, very, very good spread of these tanks. These tanks doing a good job, doing a lot of damage to these Roaches. Roaches pushing in. The Roach count not doing a lot of damage. It's able to take out a couple tanks. A third tank going down, which is a good pickup. But in the meantime, he's going to be losing all these Roaches. The scan gets dropped, but a couple of these Roaches are going to be able to escape and survive. Hellions doing a lot, I mean not doing a lot, attacking these Roaches, but the thing is Hellions aren't too good against Roaches. They're good against light damage, light units, and they're going to have to pull out from there. I think if you wanted to attack these Roaches, you need to go with these Banshees. They'll do a lot more damage considering that they have such a high DPS. Fourth Orbital Command, or Command Center, is going to be coming in here and trying to drop at the 4th expansion, but again, that is being blocked by a bunch of creep and this burrowed Roach. But these Hellions getting into the 3rd expansion of the Zerg, going to be able to do a lot of damage against these drones. The drones, he's able to pick off about 4 more, which is a good spot to be in. And if you look over here, there's a giant OV cloud, just because, you know, you got them all rallied right there. This Roach, being annoying still hidden right here, but it does take about 10 seconds for this creep to go away. Banshee's picking off these Roaches that have been left on the other side of the map by Celadan. Good pick. There's another Roach just burned right here that Meavis doesn't know anything about. He's going to here pick off an SCV. Maybe getting another one. But these Hellions coming in. Again, Hellions not good against Roaches. He needs to get some tanks in here. Shoot that with a Banshee, and he does. And we got Locust finally out on the field for Celadan. So we got Swarmhost. Here we go. Swarmhost do a lot of damage. Look how fast they almost take out that Thor. Very, very fast. But these Thors, +2, +1 upgraded. So this mech army is going to be doing a pretty good amount of damage against this. He needs to get some AoE units. So some tanks do some good damage against these swarm hosts. To be honest, I don't really know if the swarm host is good in a PvT. I mean a ZVT. Some Hydras streaming out in here too, as well. So he's gonna be some kind of swarm host Hydra play with a couple queens mixed in. These locusts do have enduring locust upgrades, so they're gonna be coming in here and taking out units. And the thing is, it costs Celadan nothing to produce these locusts, and if he's taking out units of Meavis, it's always a good trade. The scan does come out from Meavis though, and he's gonna be able to pick up 1 swarm host, 2 swarm hosts, maybe possibly getting a 3rd. Yes, he gets that 3rd swarm host, but loses 1 Banshee from these Hydralisks. These Hydralisks mainly here just to deal with those roaches. But at the same time, these tanks going to be able to do a lot of damage against these Hydras. Hydras just melt 2 tanks if they get into the line of fire. But things have to be in front of the tanks to defend them against these locusts. You just see how fast those locusts get shredded by those tanks. It does seem like Meavis has made a trench line that's fairly safe against this locust aggression. But if we look at the Zerg, he's off of 5 bases. 1, 2, 3... Actually, no, 4 bases. And if he wanted to, he could go for his 5th. This is a really good creep spread out of Celadan. As of now, he can reinforce with so much on this creep highway. He's got Hydras with that speed upgrade. They can walk up and down this highway and reinforce his army if they do. If it does get wiped out. He's Swarmo's still here. He's got about. If we look at the unit tab, he's got about. How many Swarmos? Yeah, I can't even see it. He's got about 19 swarm hosts, so that's a lot. That is a huge number of swarm hosts, and Meavis is going to have to defend against this somehow. He's got his 3rd base up and running finally, so he's got that mining completely mined out into his main, and his 4th base is up and running too, so he's in a good position too against his 3rd opponent. He's able to get some Hellions into the 3rd base of his opponent. The drones not being microed. They need to be microed, otherwise he's going to be losing a lot. He lost a lot of drones in that harassment out of Meavis, and he was able to take out maybe about 10 or so drones, 13 I think. More drones going down. These Hellions still not dealt with. They're able to pick off more, 33, and evening it up the workers killed to 34 to 34, so that's a really good position for Meavis to be in, considering that all he has to do is sit back and defend himself against these locusts. 36 to 34. It used to be 34 to 14 workers killed, so it's a good position for Meavis to be in. He's supply blocked currently right now, 164. But he's got a decent tank line. This tank spread is very good, and it's not like it's taking that much damage against these locusts. These locusts coming in here. Another scan coming out from Meavis. He's going to try and pick off some Swarmo. He's able to get 1, but at the same time losing a Banshee. These Hydras need to be on top of these Swarmos so they can protect them against these Banshees. Doesn't seem like he can be doing that though. More tank fire coming out, taking out these locusts, but his tank does go down. And if we look at the production tab of Meavis, it does look like he's just going for more Command Center. He's going for 3 more. He went for a Raven and an energy upgrade for that Raven too. So it does seem like he's going to be going to expand, considering that he just has to sit back and defend himself against this aggression coming out of Celadan. Celadan's basically maxed, so he needs to do aggression with this. The creep spread again is very, very good. If I were Celadan, I would defend this position right here, but at the same time I would also try and take out some creep. Hellions coming in on the other side of the map, going to be able to go into the 4th expansion of Celadan and take out a lot of drones. Hey, look at the workers killed, 41 drones killed. That's another 5 more picks off for Meavis. Meavis only losing minerals in that, and hampering the economy of his opponent too. So Celadan actually opting to put down spore crawlers. He should be putting out spines to protect his mineral line away from these Hellions. It's not like Banshees are coming in, but Banshee's going to be doing a good job. Scan comes down. He's going to be taking out these creep tumors and also maybe getting a pick off of these Swarmos. Swarmos unburrowed, pulling back a little bit. Felt like it was in a bad position. As long as they can be near this spore crawler, it will be somewhat safe against aggression from Meavis. But in the meantime, over here at the natural 3rd expansion of Meavis, or is it the 4th? Hydras do come in here, but he does see that there is a planetary fortress right here, which does a lot of damage against Hydras. So they're not going to be able to break this just yet, also considering that there are tanks on this side of the map too that can just shred through these Hydras. The creep spread on this map, on this side of the map, on the left-hand side, is pretty good though. So the creep spread does continue the way it is. It's going to get into the natural expansion of Meavis. But if you got a tank here, I guess you can blow that away before it ends up getting up. The Hydra's coming over here on the right side of the map. It does seem like he's got OVs on every single expansion location on this side of the map, just to see if the the Terran player will try and expand. But it's gonna delay all these expansions, especially if the hover right here. If these Hydras come up and and stand right underneath these command centers, they're gonna be able to take them out really fast, considering the high DPS of these Hydras. He doesn't want to lose those command centers. If we look at the production tab of the Zerg, mutas are coming out, and the Zerg is able to secure his 5th expansion. So this is a huge siege game between both players. You would never think that Zerg could go siege too, but yeah, they can. Point defense drone being dropped by these Ravens because they do protect these tanks from these Locusts. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. More Hellions coming in here to the third expansion, taking out and roasting, barbecuing more and more drones. Drones not being pulled off the line, not even being microed really. As Celadan pulls back with these units just to destroy that Hellion. But if we look at the units killed, 44 workers killed. This is a pretty good position for him to be in. He does even it out in terms of how many workers were killed in the beginning of that game. I thought it was going to be over for Meavis. That was a really, really bad way to start a game when those roaches came into his base. But it seems like he's okay. Point defense drone's still here to be protecting these tanks from these Locusts, and those Locusts just melting away to these tanks. If we look at the tank count, he's at 26 tanks, so that is a lot of tanks. He's just opting for tanks, really. He's not really producing anything else. 2 more factors coming down, and a fusion reactor coming down too. So he's probably gonna be going for some battle cruisers too. This is gonna be a really weird game. A mech Terran, and also a secret missile coming out. All aimed at that one swarm host, and good micro out of Celadan. Was able to move that swarm host, unburrow it, and move it away from his the rest of his army, which would have been really bad for him if those secret missiles went off on his army. It would have been a lot of dead swarm hosts. But if we look over here, muta count is at 14 for Celadan. He's over here taking out this command center, while also going for aggression on the left side of the map with these Hydras. Not going to be able to do too much damage considering there are a lot of tanks and also a planetary right here. But yeah, putting down some auto turrets, trying to clear up some of the creep tumors, but these mutas on the right side of the map trying to do damage against the economy of Meavis. Meavis is maxed. He is supply blocked at 197, but he's putting down a lot of turrets on the right side of the map. He's just got a lot of money. Meavis is floating about 4,000 minerals, so he's kind of just chilling. He's not in a very bad position considering he's down in bases against his Zerg opponent, but at the same time he's got a lot of money, so it's not like he really needs it right now. It's only when the money pool goes dry that he needs to worry about it, but doesn't seem like he has to worry right now. This is the main trench line right here. This is where everything's going on. You see for the Zerg, he's got spine crawlers, he's got spore crawlers, he's got locusts. He can just sit back and relax. Same thing for the Terran player. He's got so many tanks that these locusts do not even get into range before they can even shoot before they all die. So that's why Celadan's opting for mutas. He's going for mutas because he's going to try and do some aggression, because mutas are very mobile against a Terran army that's completely just consisting of tanks which are completely stationary. So these Banshees coming in here are going to try and pick off some buildings. Point defense drones are out defending all these Terran units, so from the mutas, from the Locusts, so this is a good spot for the Terran. He is cornered though, as every moment passes in this game. More and more Zerg, the Zerg is getting more bases on this side of the map. If you look at the spread of how much of the map he controls, it is just dominating this Terran opponent right now. He basically has the entire map to his advantage. The mutas coming on the left side of the map, flying into the natural of Meavis, can be able to take out all these turrets and possibly take out this orbital command. No, opting to go for the production facilities of Meavis instead. Goes for the reactor, going for all the reactors actually. It's gonna stop Meavis from producing what he wants, and right now he's not really producing anything. So these mutas are gonna be having full reign against his Terran opponent. The Terran opponent does not have anything to deal with these mutas. He doesn't have he doesn't have Thor's in position. He doesn't have any Vikings out. He just got these starports, and he doesn't have anything to shoot these mutas. These mutas are just gonna have full reign in the base of Celadan. It's Meavis, but at this meantime, Meavis is not gonna wait for himself to die. He's gonna decide to move in and push in and do some aggression. These point defense drones protecting these tanks to get back into position and do some aggression and push back across the map, taking out all these creep tumors, getting more map control. But if you look at the main of Meavis, these mutas just raining absolute hell in his base. A Thor does pop, but is these mutas going to surround on it? And this Thor not really shooting, just goes down immediately from these mutas. Muta's taking out all the production facilities of Meavis, so Meavis in a very bad spot. He needs to defend against this, but he's only got tanks, he's only got ravens. He doesn't even have a Viking. He's got one Viking here to help out his army, but the thing is he has nothing at home to help him defend and survive against his aggression. From Celadan, Celadan in a very good spot. But Meavis does have a lot of money. He's got 8,000 minerals and 3,000 gas, so he can rebuild those production facilities if he wanted to very easily. But at the same time, doesn't have anything to deal with these mutas. He pulls back at a very, very good moment. If he didn't make it back to these turret line, these mutas would have just destroyed those tanks. And I mean absolutely destroyed those tanks. The fourth base almost completely mined out for Meavis. If we look at the third base, that's pretty much the case too. Once again, he does have a lot of money though. So he's producing a lot of turrets. And he needs to produce more production facilities and get those bases up on his side of the map if he wants to continue to play against his Zerg opponent, who's got up to his like 7th, 8th, and 9th base, really. And these mutas coming back into the main. If we look at the muta count, it's at 31, so Celadan's in a very good position. He's going to be taking out the production facilities. All the factories are going to be going down. They're all on fire. Dog, Meavis, your factory's on fire, man. This guy's on fire. Still holding the siege line against the Locust aggression from his opponent. There's not really much he can do. He's got factories over here, and if you look, he's got starports being produced near all these turrets too. He's kind of abandoned his main. He's going to let it die. There's really not much he can do right there. He's got this really good spread right here with all these turrets, so if the mutas decide to attack this area of the map, they're going to have a much harder time. Viking getting vision over here. Those ravens putting point defense drones down, and so these locusts can't do any damage against his army. Because what the point defense drone does, if for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, point defense drone stops any projectiles coming out. It just completely nullifies it until that little timer runs out. Let's see if this little point defense drone has a little gray timer. As soon as that runs out, the point defense drone's done. Also, it's got a certain amount of energy, so it can only block a certain amount of shots. Secret missiles coming down though. Oh man, 2 more secret missiles coming out. No micro coming out from Celadan on these Swarmos. He's going to be losing a lot of Swarmos if he doesn't micro away from those secret missiles. These Mutalisks coming in trying to do more damage, but there are a lot of turrets, but this Mutaball is pretty thick. It's 26 mutas. That's a pretty heavy Mutaball. And if you look at the upgrades, it's +1/+1, so they're going to be doing some extra damage against this Terran opponent. The Terran opponent is completely limited to this one area right here, this space. He's got to just hold this line if he wants to do any if he wants to survive in this game. These Swarmos, if you look at the Swarmos count, is down to 19, but that's still a lot of Swarmos. The thing is, it's a good mix for the Zerg opponent. Swarmos are very immobile. It's able to keep his Terran opponent stuck in one spot, while the Mutas are very mobile and they can just go around and harass. So this is a pretty creative play coming out of Celadan. These Mutas just having free reign because the Terran opponent decided to opt for just a lot of tanks, really. And he's going to be flying and taking off across the map, mass exodus, to try and secure some expansions. He did have a lot of money, still does. He's floating 5,000 minerals and 4,000 gas. So he can't afford to produce. The thing is, he's basically almost maxed at 178. And he needs to make a base again. He needs to produce some supply depot so he can start producing some units. Oh my god, my nose is getting so clogged right now. I don't even know why. Okay, so the creep has been dealt with over here at this expansion. It's going to take a couple seconds, probably around 10 seconds for this creep to dissipate. Same thing over here on this side of the map. This Overlord still not dealt with. Still, it needs to be dealt with though. Mutas have found that Meavis has decided to migrate over to the side of the map, so all the Swarmos planting themselves right over here are going to be taking out these starports, and all these Mutas over here too as well, going to take out one of these command centers. This is a very bad position for the Terran player to be in. If you ask me, I think he's just slowly bleeding dry. This isn't really the right unit composition to deal with this. I think mech play is just way too immobile to deal with mutas. I think he needed to get some barracks out, get some marines and medevacs, do some harassment on this side of the map. If you can't do some harassments and do some drops against your Zerg opponent as a Terran player, you're not going to be able to survive. That's what you really need. Point defense drones coming down. All these Thors just having a field day on these Mutilus, very good shots coming off those two Thors. Thor's not taking any damage because of his point defense drones. Good hold by Meavis, but the thing is he's still bleeding dry. He needs to get these production facilities up. He needs to get this base up and running. He's finally decided to put down some barracks, but the thing is he needs to produce a lot of supply depots so he can produce some units. He's got really nothing. He's holding this siege line. There's really nothing over here though, so he should probably pick those tanks up and roll on over here and surround these swarm hosts. I don't think he knows. He takes a scan so he knows where the swarm hosts are. There's nothing there to protect him against these. Oh man, these secret missiles. So those swarm hosts go down, but I guess not too much damage against these swarm hosts. But these locusts coming over here are going to be taken out. Oh, point defense drone protecting these buildings, but one factory does go down. And Mutilus flying in here, you're going to be able to pick off a Raven. Raven count is at 6, which is a pretty decent Raven count. Thors, again, point defense drones protecting these Thors, but the Thors going to be running away. Should be just shooting these Mutas. These Mutas do go down pretty fast in these Thors. But it does look like Celadan's not going to be waiting around for it. He is max. He's got a lot of minerals. He's going to be floating. He's going to be shooting in here with these Mutas, trying to do a lot of damage. Locust coming in here. These tanks dealing with them. But these swarm hosts going to be pulling back, and these Mutas going to be pulling back as well. Oh man, this is just a very, very, very tense game between both these players. Both players not wanting to give up. Celadan does seem to have the much stronger position in this game, but Meavis is holding pretty well. I think any lesser Terran would have fallen by now to this type of aggression. It's super frustrating to deal with swarm hosts and also to deal with Mutilus. To have both mixed into one game is just having a cocktail of frustration. It's very, very hard. One base is finally up for Meavis to mine. Again, these overlords on the other base is just preventing anything from happening. This base completely mined out for the 4th. Planetary is just going to sit there and keep control of that side of the map. Units flying in over here, going to try and take out some production buildings before they are even finished. Locust, though, coming in, going to be taking out a Thor. These tanks kind of out of position, not really there to deal with those locusts. Oh, secret missiles coming out against these Mutas. These Mutas not taking too much damage though, so pretty good spot for Celadan to be in. Again, moving up these swarm hosts, moving them on up again, and locusts slowly making their way across. Gonna go ahead and take out some SCVs. These SCVs kind of just around this door to repair it and protect it against those Mutilus. But tanks are going to be rolling in here. Oh, are going to get caught off guard by all these locusts. 3 tanks are going to be going down immediately. 4 tanks go down. And that was just a very, 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 very bad position for Meavis to be in. He needs to get a better... needs to get out of there, really. Those locusts are just going to shred those tanks, so he needs to pull back, get into the protection of the siege line of his own siege tanks. And these Mutas still going around, poking in, trying to get any kind of weakness they can against his Terran opponent, who's just... He's kind of just cornered right now. He's just stuck in this side of the map right here. Oh man, I gotta blow my nose. 1 second. Ugh. Ugh. Ah, sorry about that. Yeah, oh man. Oh, my sinuses are cleared. I feel so much better now. Yeah, so Muta's still flying around the map, trying to just, you know, contain his opponent. And that's basically what's happening this entire game. The Terran is contained. I think this is pretty much done, to be honest. It's a 47-minute match. When it's basically over. If you look at the Zerg, there's really nothing for the Zerg to worry about. There's no fear for the Zerg to be facing any type of drops. You got 5 Thors and a bunch of siege tanks and SCVs being pulled off the line. Meavis finally realizes, okay, if I'm going to do anything, it has to be now. He's going to be pushing across the map. He's got Ravens for vision against these swarm hosts. These tanks going to be doing damage against these swarm hosts as well. There are a bunch of spines, though, which will do a lot of damage against these units of Meavis, but Meavis does have siege tanks out here to deal with these locusts and also to deal with these spine crawlers. So these Mutas coming out on the corner of the map that Meavis is contained on, and they're going to be taking out the last remaining production facilities. 2 Thors here just to stay for defense. These SCVs being pulled off the line just to repair these Thors. Not doing a really good job though, magic boxing these Thors, and those Thors do go down really fast. But Meavis going for the kill, not going to wait around for himself to die. He's going to go for a base trade scenario. Just going to push across the map, going to deal with all that Celadan has, which is basically just Locusts and Swarmos. All these Locusts going down, point defense drone coming down too. Protect these units. Auto turrets coming down as well. These Swarmos kind of a bad rally there. They're going to be walking into the line of fire of these this mech army. And we look back at the base. Meavis is able to protect all his workers. Protect his base, and his workers was able to repair that door and protect it from the fire of these Mutalisks. The Mutalist count is down to 16. So as long as Celadan can take care of this last remaining army of Meavis, he should be in a pretty good position still. Again, bad rallies with these Swarmos. They're just running straight into tank fire. They need to just get out of their range and burrow right here. Doesn't seem like there's much out for the Zerg opponent. He got 24 Swarmos and 23 Mutalisks, but he needs to just surround this army. This army is completely surrounded right now. He's got a bunch of Thors, probably around like 6 or 7 Thors, and maybe like a handful of tanks, and nothing really being produced as of now. He's got 1 Raven and 3 Thors. So a bunch of Thors right here running away for the safety of the SCVs. SCVs going to try and repair these Thors, but these Mutalisks are going to magic box them. Oh, but unfortunately for Celadan, a bunch of Thors do pop right then, and Thors do a lot of damage against Mutalisks, so they're going to be pulling back. More Mutalisks over here on Celadan's side of the map. Meavis still here, sieged up. Going to be trying to do aggression. He's able to take out a lot of creep tumors. And if he takes out some bases, that's going to be a good position to be in. But again, he's surrounded. It's a very bad position for him to be in. Point defense drone does not come down, but those Thors just absolutely melted those Mutalisks. That was a very bad stack for Celadan. That's a very bad position for him to be in. He needs to get a bunch of units. He needs to mass units right now. So he's got a bunch of Swarm hosts right here. Swarm hosts gonna be all those Locusts can basically be dying to the AoE of these tanks. I think he should have just opted for a lot of roaches right there and just pushed into this army, because he could have done a lot of damage considering Celadan's floating 7,000 minerals. That would have been a very, very good push against Meavis. But the thing is, Celadan is maxed. He decided to max out on Mutas and Swarm hosts again. 29 Swarm hosts, 1 roach, and 24 Mutas. Okay, and Meavis is going to be pulling back again. This is a very, very long match coming out of these players. It's got to be exhausting for these players to just be keeping up with this. Hats off to Meavis considering how stressful it must be to be playing against a Zerg style like this. He's got to save those Thors. Those Thors do go down to Locust pretty fast. Ting sieging up in the back and to be able to destroy this Locust as long as these Thors take the hits. Thors are going to take the hits at the front. Point defense drones coming down. I don't think Meavis should be dropping 3 at once. These Raven energy is precious, so 1 really could have been enough to deal with those Locusts right there. More Locusts streaming in here though. He needs to siege up these tanks. The more tanks he has, the faster these Locusts will go down. These Mutas coming out on the left side of the map are going to be taking out everything that is left from Meavis. Meavis finally not supply blocked anymore. At 188 supply, he's got freed up supply now. Takes out that Overlord that was blocking him at that expansion right there, while also floating this orbital command right here. He should just drop it and drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot, and drop some mules down and get that functioning too. Oh my god, my nose. Oh. This is the problem with my room. It's got a lot of pet dander. But if we look over here, Muta's still flying around. This match is it's just like, what is happening in this match? It's very strange. These Mutas coming up, taking out these factories here. More Thors coming out on the left side, protecting the left side from these Mutalisks. These Mutalisks going to be flying in here though. Going to be able to take out some supply depots, but it doesn't seem like it really matters considering that Meavis has got 199 supply. More Locusts streaming in here. If you look at that, it's a pretty big Locust count. I mean, Swarm host count. Again, Spine Crawler is being made over here at the front. The Zerg opponent shouldn't really have to worry about what's going on considering he's got so many bases mining. I would be very surprised if the Zerg opponent loses this match considering he's floating 8,000 minerals and 5,000 gas. I don't see how that is impossible for him to lose this. He should just, he's got another base just popped right here. And if he could just pop, he can make another base right here. And in fact, he can make a base here. Maybe get a Nidus network up in here. And just have all of these units coming from both sides. And just swarm his opponent. He can do a lot of things. You know why he can do a lot of things? Because he's got close to 8,000 minerals. He can just do anything he wants. He can do anything. Even though he's max, just do stuff. Just make buildings in his base. Do anything. It doesn't seem like much is happening though. Battle cruisers are being produced out of Meavis though. So Meavis is going to be going through some air to deal with this. Battle cruisers are pretty good against light units on the ground. So we'll be able to take out this locust count. They do shoot a lot. A lot of pew 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 that come out of these battle cruisers. So hopefully that'll be good. By the way, hello Zuckerman for tuning in. How's it going? Yeah, these Thors, again, another siege line right here to protect himself against these locusts. Point defense drone coming down too to block those locust fire. Swarmos still here, doing a lot of damage. It's just producing these locusts, just giving birth. It's a sad life to be a Swarmos. Your life is just giving birth to locusts. The Raven count is around 6. 2 more Ravens being produced too. So they're gonna be coming in here. They're gonna be putting some heat seeker missiles out onto these Swarmos. They need to run away. Run away! Oh man, and he's able to take out 4, but he's gonna be going ahead and trying more. He's going for more. Another seeker missile. He needs to split these Swarmos. 2 more go down. So it does seem like Meavis is able to do some damage. He's still staying alive in this, which is surprising. I thought he would be dead a long time before. This is at the 1 hour mark of this game. I don't know how long this game is. This is nuts. This is very intense. 1 BC is out though. I don't know if he was going for another one. If we look at how many units he's got, he's got 2 BCs out on the field, so he doesn't seem like he's using any more. More Mutas coming out on the field. These BCs do have a lot of armor on them, which is very good for Mutalisks. I mean, really good against Mutalisks. They have a lot of HP. They have a lot of armor to protect them against any damage in general. And it seems like he's max, almost max. It doesn't seem like Meavis is producing anything right now. He's just kind of sitting back in his base. You know he's got to produce an army to push out. But if we look at the army of Celadan, he's got Mutas. Mutas not too great against BCs, especially if they're Ravens out next to it to support the BCs. Raven and the BCs and Thors will just shred through the Mutas. And also the tanks and everything else will just shred through these Swarmos if they can get on top of them. These Swarmos have to be very careful not to stick around when Meavis does go out for that push. And it does seem like Meavis should go out for that push because he is supply capped as of now. 199 supply. He did it, guys. He was able to get supply capped. Okay, 2 more battle cruisers coming out for Meavis, and I think after that he will go ahead and opt to push out. Point defense drones coming out on this side of the map, and protecting his units from all these locusts. His Mutaball just kind of floating right here, and it doesn't seem like the Zerg opponent is producing anything. I mean, he's spreading his creep, but that's about it. Oh my god! Oh, those Mutas all go down. Those Mutas just flew straight into those seeker missiles coming out of those Ravens. And the Spore Crawlers coming out are able to take out these point defense drones. I think those point defense drones don't protect against building damage. So a photon cannon or a Spore Crawler can take it out. The battle cruisers doing a lot of damage against these locusts. You can see how fast they're taking him out. Now Meavis, all he has to do is just push out across the map because he's got his supply caps completely +3/+3 upgraded on all this mech and air. So he needs to push out and do some damage. Another Raven being produced, and that is everything. That's like the cherry on top, basically at this point. He needs to push out and do something. Meavis not in such a bad position as he was before. If we look at the APM, Celadan is dropping very low. I mean, at some points he's dropped to 0 APM at certain points. He's back at 200. 24 APM coming out of Meavis right now. I just think both players are really exhausted. I would be too, especially at an hour-long game. You don't want to be in an hour-long game. It's just very, very, very fatiguing. This battle cruiser needs to pull back. Oh, one battlecruiser goes down. A Viper pulls it back. These Mutas going to be pushing it. And those two battlecruisers do go down for Meavis because he got pulled by the Vipers straight into the Spore Crawler line. Oh, these Ravens being pulled too. Two Ravens go down. Heat Seeker missiles coming out. But wasn't able to do too much damage. A lot of damage against Meavis. Meavis does have the bank to supply this though. He's got 6,000 minerals and 1,500 gas, so he's able to produce behind this. Doesn't want to be losing units though. It's 180 supply to 200. Thors and tanks dealing with these locusts, but as soon as he decides to push out away from this though, his units do get destroyed by these mutas and also these Vipers now that have been added to the mix. It's going to be hard for those battlecruisers to be safe with these Ravens if they're getting pulled by those Vipers. Okay, so Meavis, 197 supply, remax with a bunch of battlecruisers, remade those battlecruisers fairly easily. Still floating 5,000. Third player is still floating 8,500 gas. 5,000 gas. It's just very tough conditions for both players to be in. I know they're exhausted. It's hard to be creative when you're exhausted, but you really should just be going for Nidus networks, anything to surround this Terran opponent. Terran just kind of sieged up. Kind of sieged up right here, protecting his entire what's left of his corner of the map. All these locusts, continuing to protect himself against these locusts. It doesn't seem like much is happening for both players. This is an exhausting game, guys. This is an hour-long game. I did not expect it to be this long. Doesn't seem like the Zerg is be pushing out anytime soon. I mean, these mutas are going to be coming out. Viper's pulling these battlecruisers, and these mutas going to be able to take them out fairly easily. These battlecruisers taking a lot of hits before going down. These Ravens coming in here too, putting down a bunch of Seeker missiles. But these mutas fly out of range though, so those Seeker missiles aren't able to go off. I didn't actually know you could do that. That's pretty cool. Seeker missiles coming out, point defense drone coming out too to protect these Ravens from any fire. But oh wait, no, Spore Crawler does get blocked by point defense drone. Oh, okay, that's cool. These Vikings, not Vikings, these Thors coming in, taking some shots. Point defense drone does finally go down, and I think at this point, especially with the Raven count this high, he just needs to do something. Battlecruiser's gonna be doing some Yamato cannons. I love Yamato cannons on these spores. Gonna be taking out one, almost two spores. More locusts coming in here, just being shredded by this tank line and Thor count. And yeah, this is a very, very frustrating game for both players. It's very tiring. I bet they're on their back foot. Meavis is definitely on his back foot. He's producing tanks behind this. It needs to push out. I really don't know what else to say about this game. I don't know the play of these players. I do know that Meavis has got one base and two bases, able to get those bases up. It does seem like the gas is finally mined out at this other base right here. So he's only mining out 4 gas. He's got 2 mineral lines fairly saturated. No, not really. Need to get them more saturated. We do see that if we compare the income of the Zerg and the Terran opponent, it does seem like the Terran has much more. I mean, not much more. It does have a... Actually, for gas, he has much more income. Does seem like the Zerg is completely mined out on his side of the map in terms of gas. So, doesn't seem like the Zerg is going to be able to produce any more gas unless he goes onto the other side of the map and decides to take these expansions away from his Terran opponent. Vipers still coming in here, getting destroyed though. You need to be a little bit more careful with those Vipers. But it doesn't really matter because Zerg can just bank up. He got 9,000 minerals and 5,000 gas. He can do whatever he wants. Everything he wants. Oh, heat seeker missiles coming out on those Vipers. They need to fly out of range, and they did. And all those seeker missiles just plop to the ground and really don't do anything. So Raven count pretty big. If we look at the Raven count, it is at 17. 17 for the Raven count. This game continues, guys. This game continues to go on. Meavis needs to do something. He's just sitting back. He's making some buildings, making racks, so he does seem to want to transition to bio. I think that was the appropriate response. No corruptors out of Celadan though, so there's really nothing to deal with these battle cruisers. I mean, these Mutalisks can, because the Mutalist count is very high, but it's not always the best composition against the battle cruisers and also Thors. Okay, 2 battle cruisers again to go down. It just seems to be a constant trade scenario where 2 BCs will go down and the Mutals will just pick them off with the Vipers. And then maybe 1 or 2 Vipers will go down, or a couple Mutalisks will go down because of the Raven flock. But honestly, I think Zerg pretty much has won this if the Zerg can do something against this army, just push in. There's honestly not much against a lot here. There's really not. If he comes in here with some roaches, maybe, or something, do a lot of damage. Again, these secret missiles coming out, units fly out of range, secret missiles just plop to the ground, do nothing. Come on, Meavis, you gotta do something. Come on, Celadan, you gotta do something. You gotta do something here. You gotta do something. Really not much happening. Yeah, definitely really hard for both players to close out this game. From looking at what Zuckerman has said in my chat, it is very, very difficult. Both players are in a very tough position to be in. Meavis doesn't want to make any wrong moves. He's just kind of contained to this one particular spot because it's the only spot where he can defend both. I mean, this entire corner. The Zerg player could try and drop into the base, just take out a lot of this. Maybe Nidus network. If he Nidus networks, that'd be nice. Somehow, maybe getting a Nidus right here, swarming on this side, right here. It's a very good spot to Nidus right there. Maybe going for a unit comp switch. I mean, I think it's pretty fair considering the Zerg is floating 10,000 minerals and 6,000 gas. I think he can afford it. I think both players can afford it considering the Terran's on 9,000 and 3,000. I know because the Zerg player is so close to the Terran's base, he doesn't want to trade any of these units because that could cost him the game. If you've invested 1 hour in a game already, you do not want to lose a game. I would not want to. If I lost a 1 hour game, I would be so upset. But we look, Celadan. Oh, nuclear launch! How did I miss that? A nuclear launch is being put down by Meavis. Going to be trying taking out all these buildings. Oh, if he can keep this ghost alive, and he can. All these buildings going down. All those spores just blow up. And a lot of those creep tumors blow up too, so that was a really good spot. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice that he was building nukes until now. I was just not paying attention because I didn't think anything was happening. Sorry. Another nuke coming down. This ghost has not been spotted. No detection out here for Celadan, so nuke coming out, taking out more buildings. It just seems like Meavis can afford this, so he's going to be coming out with these ghosts, and he's going to be destroying all these buildings with these nuclear launches, which is a very good position for Meavis to be in. But the thing is, in the meantime, these mutas are going to come up over here on this side of the map. There is nothing to deal with the muta count and all these Vipers, so these mutas are just going to have free reign on this base. And you take out this one of the last remaining command centers of Meavis, and also taking out a lot of these turrets. This turret's going to burn down, blows up, and these starports are going to be taken out too as well by the mutas. As I said before, Meavis is not really capable of moving from this one particular spot. He's got ghosts, he's got tanks, but they have to defend against these locusts. And in the meantime, the mobile army of Celadan is going to be able to just pull out and do a lot of damage. Able to get out of the range of those secret missiles, though. As long as he can keep flying away from those secret missiles, he's not going to be in too bad of a spot. But his units are driven away by those ravens. The raven flock is pretty high, and they do have a lot of energy for those secret missiles. Able to still put down a bunch of point defense drones to protect his army. Good pick off from Celadan. Was able to take out that expansion, but at the same time, nothing was really, not really that bad of a a pick off, considering that Meavis is floating a lot of minerals. So it doesn't seem like he needs that base too much. These nuclear launches coming down, about to drop fiery hell on top of these locusts. All those locusts do go down, and all those production facilities as well. Not production facilities, all those buildings as well. Spine crawlers and spore crawlers alike. Spore crawlers bleeding out right here in the front. Someone suture this mother. Suture it. And these Thors pushed out over here. Ooh, able to get a couple of... Oh, whoa. Able to get a couple of Vipers. Viper pulling that Thor all the way across that huge ravine. That Thor got taken for a ride. Again, this command center is on fire. Going over here. Can't plant itself because of all the creep spread. But more and more nukes coming out for these ghosts. Oh, Ghost is taken out though. I wonder if there's a oh no, the Ghost got taken out by its own tank. Tank fire from the AoE from this tank, which is unfortunate. More nukes being produced by Meavis. Meavis trying to utilize every trick in the book that Terran has to try and win this game. And this is just a very long, exhausting game. Man, I wonder how big this DX story file is going to be. It's going to be like 150 gigs, but if not more. If we look over here, more and more locusts coming in. Point defense drones keeping the army fairly safe. Very good idea to get point defense drones. Oh, but Celadan has so much money that he can just keep producing all these defensive structures over on the side of the map. More nukes coming down though. He's going to make sure that these ghosts don't die. 2 nukes being dropped on the very same position though. I think that might be overkill. Oh no, it's just 1 nuke, okay. Oh no, 2 nukes, I knew it. And taking out those why did you say production? No, those defensive structures. Thor's coming in here, driving out these mutalisks, trying to do some damage and prevent this base from going up. Really tough spot for both players to be in. If I were these Vipers, I would pull a bunch of tanks. Just be pulling tanks and yoinking them. If you look, it's 187 supply to 153, so Zerg does have a lead. Meavis not really producing anything behind this, even though he's got the money. He should just be making something, making some bio or something and dropping. Honestly, if he made a drop right here of just like 3 medevacs full of Marines, they could just destroy bases. Just take this out, take that out, take this out, take the Spire out, take that out, take out the Hive and the Spire and the infestation pit. Then what does Zerg have to remax against you? Not much. But Celadan's still flying around here with his Metaflock. His trench line still being held by Meavis. Meavis doing a very good job. And able to get get his bases up. So this base is finally mining for Meavis. I don't think he needs the money because he's floating 9,000 minerals. This base is almost directly across the ravine from Meavis. Celadan is mining too. So Celadan's got that mining base. They're both in it. This is a huge map. So both players doing a very good job in terms of this long, strenuous macro game. Yeah, Zuckerman, this is one of the longest games I've ever seen too. I did not expect it to be this long when I watched it, when I picked it. If this is going to be a 2-hour game, I think this is a little bit much. This is a lot. This is a lot. I have been speaking for so long, my throat is dry. I don't even know what else to say in this game, but this is just a very entertaining match in terms of how it's progressed, really. It's been an emotional roller coaster. I thought Meavis was out in the very beginning. I don't know what's happening. I don't even know what's going to happen towards the end. And, like, is this going to be a 2-hour game? There's just so much happening. I don't know I kind of want to put music on because it just feels appropriate because it's like the Loki's still streaming in. Ghosts being produced, just a lot of ghosts. A lot of ghosts. I think if he wants to nuke, he can nuke. Go ahead and nuke. Able to snipe. He's opting to snipe. Loki's still producing. Safe. Locusts are very safe behind all these defensive structures, all these spore crawlers. Look at how many spore crawlers there are. It's 2 pages worth. All these locusts just in here too, with one spine, a couple spines mixed in to defend them. There's really not much going on. Point defense drones being dropped. This Raven Flock doing a really good damage. Doing a really good job just defending all these units up here at the front. It does seem like Meavis isn't producing anything though. He's just making command centers, which I really don't see why. You don't need command centers, dude. You don't need them. What you need are units so that you can push across the map. Another nuke coming out. Another nuke. Oh, but these Vipers trying to yoink. Oh, almost. Oh my God, the Mutos fly right over that nuke. That was a very, very good nuke that went off from Meavis. That was very good. Oh, that was exciting. These secret missiles going off on these Swarm. I was able to take out 5. So it just seemed like Celadan needs to be a little bit more careful with where he's placing his units and where he's microwaving, because it could cost him the game if he loses way too much. This mech army is very, very buff though. 182 supply of Celadan to 145 of Meavis. Very good AoE out for the Terran player though. You got these tanks, you got these secret missiles from this Raven flock, you got these Thors to deal with those Mutas, and he's got these ghosts to drop nukes. So that's pretty interesting. Very interesting unit composition from Meavis. He needs to do something though. I know he's just whittling his way into this game, back into this game, but to be honest, it's at the 1 hour 24 minute mark. Both players have a lot of money. Instead of just slowly bleeding out, they should just use that money for something. Use it for something, man. Like you should put down like a planetary fortress up here at the front or something. That would be nice. Just have SCVs repair it. That could do a lot of damage. It'll help a lot trying to hold this line as well. Oh, whoa! Raven being pulled. Viper's just sticking out that long tongue, trying to catch as many Ravens as he can. Locust being pulled off the line. I mean, Locust being is continuously being thrown at Meavis. Meavis not producing anything except for orbital commands. Needs to be producing units, to be honest, so he can push across the map. Oh man! So both players just still going at it. Still going at it. I really. Oh, another nuke going off. Here we go. Another nuke. Oh, okay. If this Mutaflock flies right over that nuke, that would be a horrible position for him. Horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. 2 nukes going off right at the exact same time. 4 secret missiles coming out from Meavis, able to take out 2 Vipers. So now it seems like both players are trading. Does he have any more nukes? Does he have any more? Oh, okay. So he's not producing. The reason Meavis is not producing anything past 160 supply is because he needs the supply for those nukes. Those nukes are, I think, like 6 supply each. So he's got to keep the supply open for those. 2 more nukes being produced right now. And it does seem like he's slowly but surely pushing back this line. He's slowly getting his way back into this game. I'm kind of amazed. 187 supply, back to 190. Celadan can just remax if he wants to. I really hope this game doesn't mean that. Oh, bunch of snipes from these ghosts, taking out all those Vipers. Vipers pulling at least one of those ghosts, but oh, very good picks off from Meavis. Meavis doing a really good job utilizing all his units. These tanks just holding the line, these ghosts picking off the Vipers, these Ravens putting down all the defensive spells to protect his army. It does seem like Celadan's not going to let that trade go unmatched. He's going to be pulling in here with these Mutas. Got to be careful with these Mutaball against these Thors, though. He's going to take out at least a starport, but it doesn't seem like Meavis needs that starport very much, or he can just remake it because he's got so much money. So starport coming down. Looks like Celadan or Meavis is putting down a lot of turrets over here at the front, and to protect these workers while they're building it, he's putting down a lot of auto turrets up too. Actually, he opted to cancel all those auto turrets. The tanks can pretty much deal with it. And also these point defense turrets can take the locust fire. Just moving on up. Moving some tanks up. Siege line's moving up. He's no longer contained right here at this back corner. He's now over here pushing out across the line. It just seems like he's slowly but surely pushing his way back into this game. Meavis clinging on so dearly in this game. I thought he's out for the count. This has been an emotional roller coaster for me as well. It is surprising that he's still alive. It's surprising that he's made it this far. He's got this ultimate unit composition right here. He's able to drop these point defense drones, slowly whittle his way back in. He's going to be leapfrogging his way forward. More nukes coming out from Meavis, so he's going to be nuking right here. These swarm hosts need to move or else they're going to be in the blast radius of that nuke though. This nuke about to drop. Watch the base drop. Oof. 4 Swarm Horse get just annihilated. A bunch of spores go down as well. Oh, these Mulas trying to go in here and do some damage, but those point focus drones taking all the hits, and those turrets and Thors and Ghosts just able to shred these Mulas. More nukes being produced by Meavis, and Meavis just slowly pushing his way out in this game. I think at this point, the Zerg opponent is he's exhausted, man. He's producing the same thing. Oh, Ultralisk coming out right now though. So Ultralisk pretty good. Pretty good, man. All that armor is pretty good. It doesn't seem like those point defense drones are going to be very helpful against Ultralisk. So they just come up and wreck you with melee attack. Point defense drones taking the fire of these spore crawlers. Auto turrets doing a lot of damage, but are going to be taken out by these locusts. But this is just a distraction so that Meavis can move his tank line up and just blast away at these spore crawlers. A tank gets yoinked, and it does seem like Meavis is slowly edging his way back to this game. Finally poking his way out of this corner. He's not giving up. Oh, snap. Another nuke. Another nuke is coming out. Need to be careful. Gotta keep these ghosts alive. The nuke's gonna drop. He's gonna be taking out a lot of Swarmos with this nuke and all these mutas. No way, no. Oh my god, oh no. The supply count of Celadan just drops to 97. Meavis dropping the LOL because he can't even believe that happened. There's all these Swarmos over here are in the red. I think Meavis is in the clear. He says sorry about that loss, but that nuke was pretty good, and I gotta agree, that nuke was very good. There's nothing more satisfying as anything in StarCraft than seeing a nuke take out that many units. Celadan had a lot of money in the bank, but looks like he's got none right now. He's got nothing to produce. He's got only this one mining base. It doesn't seem like he's gonna remax at this point. I think they both realized it's GG after Celadan lost that army. Celadan opting to say, mech is broken. But I honestly don't think mech is broken. I just think he let his Terran opponent survive, and didn't really surround his swarm his opponent when he needed to. When he was off the back foot, completely surrounded, had nothing. Only had production facilities here on this side of the map. That's really what the Zerg opponent should have killed him. But hats off to Meavis, man. That was a really good game. This is a really good match from down to both players. Really good game. Meavis, exceptional play out of you. Good manners coming out from him. He says good, well played to his opponent. He said that his opponent did well against mech. I have to agree. If I can make some suggestions, though, I think he should have changed his unit composition a little bit, and also opted to use some nice networks, and also he should have just swarmed his opponent really much earlier. It's hard to deal with a Terran opponent like this. And yeah, GG's called, and both players are done with this game. This long hour and 30-minute game. I honestly did not expect this game to be that long. So Meavis is going to be the victorious player in this this match. Oh man, it's very exhausting to cast this match because it was so long and I'm doing it solo. Meavis is the winner. He was able to beat his opponent Celadan with his mech composition, fully upgraded mech. He got this huge Raven flock. He's got these tanks. He's got a couple battle cruisers sprinkled in. He was able to utilize these heat seeker drones. I mean, these heat seeker missiles. I mean, these hunter missiles. Where are they? The seeker missiles, yeah. Seeker missiles against the Mutaflock, and also to do a lot of damage against the swarm host. In the meantime, he also had nukes in the back. Those nukes were doing a lot of damage. He was able to take out that entire army of Celadan because he just didn't pay attention for one split second and lost all those swarm hosts and lost his entire Mutaflock to that one nuke. So that's really what cost Celadan the game. He had a huge bank, but he spent it all. So that's why that game ended the way it did. Very good game coming out of both players. GG. And I'm going to be uploading this match to Castit. So if you want to catch it, you couldn't see it live on stream. Check it out my YouTube channel. Allow me to plug real quick. Check it at yehdawg, or you can go to YouTube/user/yehdawg channel, and you can see all my content on there. Please subscribe, and also if you see this VOD and you're seeing it on my YouTube channel, please like it, and also give me some feedback. I'd like to hear from you. Okay, so that's all from me, yehdawg. My nose is very clogged. I gotta stop talking. I don't even know what's going on. I think I got a cold. All right. I will see you guys later. That's all for me today. Peace.